Yo, what up? We back in this thing. We about to get to some music, y'all. What up? What's happening? Hope y'all doing well out there. Here we go. Been a lot going on in the streets, man. We got the World Cup, got FIFA. You know, we had like a Spanish player, get super famous. Just shopping in Atlanta. I don't know. It must be a pretty cool dude. You know what I mean? Who knows? I don't know. Also, Messi breaking records out here. You know what I'm saying? Breaking records out here, man. You know? What's the next US game? Is it US and Turkey or something like that, man? It's going down. It's going down, bruh. Going down. We also have some legislation stuff that's going on, you know what I mean? You know I like to get down on my politique. The politique of the local variety. Yes, yes. We'll be going over a little bit of that, a little bit of this. Also, the beaches, bro. Georgia's beaches, we got to clean them up. Looking like the reflector pool, you know? Got, come on, it's got like high levels of fecal matter in it, which has got to have some level. You know what I mean? Like, but it's getting pretty high. So we'll take a look at that. Also, the Clive Davis story. Clive Davis, if y'all don't know, was a famous music exec. Um, he basically, you know, pushed, propelled, uh, um, trying to find another word. Um, Starlet. Um, several pop artists. I think Whitney Houston was one of them. Like, high caliber. And he just died at 94, 94, 95. I'm not sure. But that's another one we're going to go over. Also, we've got, what else we got up in here? I don't know. What else we got? Let me see. Let me look at my list. See what we got here. What else we got on the agenda? Oh, y'all, I know y'all heard about Kurt Starmer. That boy is gone. Also, we're going to be looking at a Georgia peanut company that used to sell all of its peanuts to USAID. But now that USAID is gone, they can't sell no peanuts. Small business out here trying to live. Life Pack used to give kids peanuts all over the country. So we'll be looking a little bit at that. Maybe we might get to that one. But yeah, y'all know what it is. Like and subscribe. Nick looking boy. Looking Ed boy. Alright, here we go. Where we at? Keep it simple. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Let's lower this. Let's go ahead and lower this down an octave, dog. See what's happening with this coin toss. Boom. I don't need. I mean, I could do some 808s on this, but it really don't need it. But I might. Something tight. You want something tight, like this yellow hi hat. Yeller. Alright. Use a different snare for the the complementary snare. We're gonna just use something I like to use something very snare like. None of these are what I would use, but I'll find it, I promise. Let's see. Need my old school snares back. Where they at? Like the old school. I need that I need to hear the guts. You know what I mean? I need to hear the snare. Oh, okay. We're getting we're getting closer. Yeah, here we go. Here we go. I need to hear the guts. We're just gonna shorten it just a little bit, you know what I mean? I'm gonna shorten the snare, the complementary snare, just a bit. Shorten it up. guy up a little bit. Maybe I'll use that. Let's see. I think I will put a 808 in here just to keep it bumping. You know what I mean? A little late. I was a little late on those last few notes, but I think I got it for the most part. Might change out the 808. I don't know if I like that rumble. Let's see. Yeah, we're gonna keep it short, nice, short and sweet, right there. That's beautiful. That was beautiful. That was absolutely gorgeous. Both. All right, let's go. Let's go. But yeah, we about to get into these stories, yo. Um, Man, where my stuff at, bruh? Oh, this is our guy today, bro. He was born today, 22nd of June in 1611. Celebrated Spanish Baroque organist and composer. We're talking about Pablo Bruna. He spent his entire career in his hometown, leaving a legacy of intricate organ music that remains a cornerstone of the Iberian repertoire, which is beautiful. Homie be getting it. The blind man of Daroca. Yes, that's the artist of the day right there. You know, did a lot for the culture, I guess, back then. This one right here, Georgia flags 3 beaches for elevated fecal bacteria level. Georgia adds 15 miles of beach to impaired waters list after bacteria levels exceed recreation standards. The National Clean Water Act requires states to identify polluted surface water every 2 years. A list released earlier this year found the number of sites in Georgia is growing and includes 3 popular beaches. The Georgia Environmental Protection Division identified 15 miles of beach with polluted waters, including parts of Tybee, St. Simons, and Jekyll Islands. On all of these beaches, fecal bacteria known as enterococci, were present in levels that failed water quality standards. There were enough violations that these beaches had to be designated as not supporting their designated use for recreation. EPD spokesman Sarah Lips said in an email, enterococcus originate from mammals and can cause infections that most affect the elderly or immunocompromised. Sources include wastewater, septic systems, animal waste, and runoff. While EPD could not yet identify sources of the contamination, the state has begun setting bacterial limits for these waters, known as total maximum daily load. The Clean Water Act requires states to develop TMDLs for water bodies and identified no water bodies it identifies as impaired. Public comment on TMDLs for these beaches is open until July 16th. Wow, bro. Oh, that's crazy. That's crazy. We got fecal matter in this junk, bro. That's not good, bro. Not good, bro. Gotta clean that up. Gotta clean that up. Yo, this is my story right here, bro. Yo, what's the peanut company name? Hold on. What's the peanut company name, bro? Oh man, how could they do this? Georgia Peanuts to reach starving kids is still unclear. The production line at Manna Nutrition in Fitzgerald, Georgia, population about 8,000, chugged all along a day in May as company compliance officer Andrea Hines led a tour of dignitaries from near and far. We have an expansion that will walk past, Hines told the group, comprising Georgia farmers, local elected officials, and members of the Trump administration. Once that expansion is fully operational and commissioned, we'll only be able to hold 2 days worth of production here. Our goal is to ship as quick as we possibly can, Hines concluded. Shipping that Manna makes as quickly as they can produce it became a problem a little over a year ago when its primary customer, USAID, was gutted by the administration. Hans pointed to cardboard cases sliding by on a conveyor belt in the shiny new factory expansion. Each case represents 2.5 lives that will be saved, she explained. Woo. For a malnourished child, 3 pocket-sized packs a day for 6 weeks of what's like a fortified sweetened peanut butter can mean the difference between life and death. In the old part of the factory, cases of this ready-to-use therapeutic food, or RUTF, were stacked below the huge American flag hanging from the rafters. In fact, Hans said this is the world's largest RUTF stockpile. That's crazy. That's crazy, yo. In Fitzgerald, Georgia, it's such a small manufacturing site that it's wild to think that this is the largest, she said. Edesia Nutrition in Rhode Island also lays claim to that title. A representative from that factory was on the tour too, but together with this stockpile in Fitzgerald, they mean the U.S. is the largest producer of RUTF, most of it made from Georgia peanuts. The stockpiles exist because the decades-long international supply chain that sent RUTF around the world was upended after USAID was dismantled. Now, while Manna and Edesa uh, are looking for new channels of delivery, federal officials suggest the government may be looking for favors in return for feeding starving children. That was explained before the big factory tour when the dignitaries were treated to lunch downtown. There, in a loft apartment renovated and owned by Manna, they heard from the guest of honor, Alabama native Linda Blanchard. Blanchard and her husband have given hundreds of thousands of dollars to President Trump's campaigns in the past. She was ambassador to Slovenia in the first Trump administration. Now she is the U.S. ambassador to the United Nations World Food Program based in Rome, Italy. Yeah, I'm not gonna go over her. It's just but that's really interesting. DHR only has about an eighth of the funding of the former USAID. That's wow. Yeah, check this little article out. The Lancet estimates 163,000 more children could die annually as a result of the end of USAID. I want to read that again. The Lancet estimates 163,000 more children could die annually as a result of the end of USAID. We need to be real about the fact that children are dying due to the aid cuts, Bailey said. So, yeah, that's that. Check that out. That's a good one. Let's get back to it. We're going to get back to some news in a second. Yeah. I don't know what I'm trying to do to this. Kind of mean. Also would like to separate my hi-hat and my snare really, really fast. This will help it all. But I'm basically done with this beat, yo. I mean, I'm probably gonna add maybe one more pattern, but I mean, it's there. I haven't even thrown it in the mixer yet, yo. Oh my goodness. Let's see what this sound like. So we put this. I think I might just bring the beat in instantly because I don't want it to wait too long, you know what I mean? So I'm gonna just bring that thing straight on in there, but I'm gonna put the claps at the beginning. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, it's a lot of crazy stuff happening out there, dog. Y'all be safe, be careful too. Dude. Yeah. All right, let's move this down. I don't know why I put it right there. Move this whole thing down. Oh no, no, that was right. That was right. Let's do this. Yeah, I'm gonna definitely put a kick in there because I need some thump on this. You know what I mean? I need a little bit of thump on this kick right here. But this will definitely give it to me. But this is the only problem. If I put this on there, I need to bring everything down 2 steps, which is fine. Let's copy this guy. Let's paste this guy. Let's go into the piano roll with this guy. Mistake. All. Yeah. Yeah. That's what I need. Little bit of in there. You know what I'm saying? All right, I'm throwing this in the mixer. Wow. Little bit of reverb here to my snare. We don't want too much. So we really want this sound to actually be in my background. So I am going to route it to this track only and have it just come through my background we'll put the bells in the front. I don't know. Actually, the bells are kind of high. Things on the high end, I tend to put like in the back. You know what I mean? Just to give some balance. Things on the low end, I kind of want it to be more present, but at the same time, you got to be careful with that low end because it will swallow everything. So keep that in mind. I also want to find a nice little pad for this. I don't have a pad here, and I always like to put pads in my like trap music somewhere, bro. Because it's like my it's like really like good for the verse, but also it's good for a bridge. Either one, you know. Let's see, let's see, let's see. Yeah, something like this. Yeah. All right, let me see what we got. Let's get it. So we can give my piano a break. You know what I mean? It's like an effect on the actual sound, which is crazy. But that's all right. What I'm going to do here is I will pull this down. We'll have to pick another sound, which is fine. This might be cool. See what it do. It's kind of fire. I kind of like this. I kind of like this. Hold on, hold on, hold on. Hold on, hold on. Let me get this. Let me get this inside of the mixer. Yeah, now we're getting closer to what I want. Give it a second. This is exactly the one I wanted. Now, if we slow down the speed of this, let me figure out how to do that. All right, so that's cool, but in order to get it on beat, I'm gonna also use gross beat, kind of work it into the groove a little bit. I know there's a way. I know there's a way. You either hit that one or you can hit this one. I'd rather do this. Yeah, that's the count off. All right. Ooh. All right, let's get back to it. Y'all already know what it is. Working it out, working it out. Let's see. Clive Davis. This is a big story, y'all. It's a big one. Rest in peace. Rest in peace. A goat, bro, of his era, of his time. You know what I'm saying? Back there with Quincy, you know, and a lot of other, great people in the industry. Um, Clive Davis, music executive and champion of legendary pop artists, has died at 94. Clive Davis, a record executive who helped to launch the career of many stars over a career that lasted decades, has died. His death was confirmed in a statement by his family posted to his official social media accounts. He was 94 years old. To the world, our father was the iconic music legend whose vision, instincts, and relentless pursuit of excellence shaped the soundtrack of countless lives. The statement reads, his discovered, mentored, he discovered, mentored, and championed the greatest artists in modern music history, leaving an indelible mark on culture that will endure for generations. It did not specify the cause of death. Davis began his career as a lawyer before pivoting into the major label record business while leading record companies like Columbia Records and Arta, Ars, Arsta, Arsta, Ar, Arista. Somebody, let me know. Davis was instrumental in shepherding the successful careers of a number of monumental music stars, including Aretha Franklin, Bruce Springsteen, Janis Joplin, Billy Joel, and Whitney Houston. Through Arista's part ownership of labels like LaFace and Bad Boy Records, Davis also played a role in the growth of hip hop and R&B through the 90s and 2000s, when artists like Usher, Outkast, Tony Braxton, the Notorious B.I.G., and Sean Combs became stars. Most recently, he was the chief creative officer of Sony Music Entertainment. I trusted this instinct, this natural flow of energy that I felt when I was in the presence of someone extremely talented. Davis told World Cafe in 2013 in reference to a trusting his gut in signing new artists. And I began to build a track record. Davis was a native of the Crown Heights neighborhood of Brooklyn, born in the city on April 4th, 1932, to Herman and an electrician and salesman, and Florence Davis, while Clive was still a freshman at New York University, which he attended on a scholarship and would later graduate from magna cum laude. He lost both parents to what he later described as complications resulting from high blood pressure. Davis, um, a destitute undergrad at the time, was forced to move in with his sister while finishing his degree. After graduating from Harvard Law with honors in 1956, Davis went to work as a Midtown Manhattan lawyer, drafting and reviewing contracts and assisting with tax and estate planning. But at 28 years old Davis moved over to Columbia Records, a client of the firm he had been working for after a former colleague convinced him his experience with contract law would be useful there. Davis proved his value quickly, helping Columbia and its parent company CBS fend off a complaint brought against them by the Federal Trade Commission over alleged misdealings related to a subscription record club it had been operating. That experience gave Davis detailed knowledge of the Byzantine economic structures underlying the music business and where those money flows drew their momentum. It was good timing. The record business fortunes would exponentially balloon over the coming decades. Crazy, crazy. Alicia Keys, Whitney Houston. Look at him, bro. 1966, Davis had been named as president of Columbia Records, where he would add Professor of Golden Ears to his resume after recognizing the commercial promise of rock and roll and rock adjacent talent like Santana, Chicago, and Laura Nyro, among others. But just under 7 years into his presidency at Columbia, Davis was fired from that position over allegations that he misused around $100,000 of CBS money through falsified invoices. Not long after, however, in 1974, Davis was again leading his own label, Arista, which he started at the behest of Columbia Pictures. So yeah, he has a whole story, and it's a very interesting story. Um, but it's very good. He ends up coming on down, you know what I'm saying, to the A. You know, did a lot for folks, man. The Kinks. Yeah. So rest in peace, a legend, most definitely. Sad to hear, but he lived a long life in the music business. 94, boy. He was. It's a long time, man. That's a long time to be in the music business, and living. So shout out to him and his family. Um, Rest in peace, man. Um, yeah. I don't think there's much happening in the house anyway. I might skip this story for another day because there's special sessions happening in the house right now while the World Cup is going on, and there's parades. June 19th parade was this weekend. They still went up to the Capitol. Uh, so it's been interesting. It's been very interesting to watch. My bad. I was waiting for my page to load up. My fault. It still ain't loaded up yet. Give it a second. Give it a second. Give it a second. I am going to put some type of drop here. Shapes. What does shapes mean? What is shapes, yo? That's crazy. Shapes. Okay. Nah, it ain't nothing, bro. I was like, shapes. Shapes. What did he say? Drake. Boy, that boy. Who was it? That was Soldier Boy. Soldier Boy killed me with that way. Drake. That was wild. That was wild, but that was a funny time in hip hop. Y'all, I think after I put this little thing in right here, that's probably gonna be it for me. You know what I mean? If I can find out where my drop. All right, this is gonna be loud. I already played it. It's gonna be loud. Oh, okay, it's a different one. Yeah, that's better. That's better. It's a lot better. Don't want it to be too. that's about it, y'all. That's what I got. I love y'all very much. We'll get to the rest of the news later. This story is gonna be very important. This AI tech story. All altered election bill in the House's hands. Late changes derided. Yeah, we'll talk about that later. But all right, y'all. Peace. Love y'all very much. Y'all be safe. Take care of yourself. Take care of people around you. And y'all have a good afternoon. Love y'all. Peace.